Hello and welcome to this very special 4th of July episode of This Week in Kirkland, the official podcast of the city of Kirkland, bringing you timely topics and noteworthy news delivered to you every week. I'm your host, Jim Lopez, one of two deputy city managers here at the city, joined today by one member of our podcast team,
David Wolbrecht.
but a very special member.
Oh, gosh, thanks, Jim.
Today we're going to be giving a sneak preview of an exciting upcoming community engagement process to crowdsource a new city flag.
Oh, yeah. Very fun. Very exciting.
So it's kind of you and me.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to go right through this really cool thing. But before we get into all that fun, here are the topics we're covering this week.
That's right. We have a few announcements, including National Night Out is coming up. Teen Union Building Design Contest open for voting. Yeah, really exciting. Recap of the latest city council meeting. Beach closure updates. You'll want to know this for the holiday weekend. Also, some summer sun safety if you're getting out in the sun this weekend.
Yes, and more on summer pet safety. We have some discussion about that, and Pee Wee soccer.
Right, never too early to talk about that.
Never too early. And a reminder, of course, that we always have links and more information on our show notes for all of our items, so check that out.
Absolutely.
But first, our big story of the week. Some city services have been delayed or inaccessible for the last week or so. You may have noticed that. We're really sorry for any inconvenience. And here's what's going on.
That's right. So last Monday, June 24th, City of Kirkland IT staff detected suspicious activity on the city's internal network. Out of an abundance of caution and in consultation with the city's security consultant, our IT staff proactively shut down access to some city network functionality.
Now, 911 and public safety services have continued to be fully operational and, of course, responding to calls, and city facilities remain open for business.
That's right. So check out the city's website for the latest updates. And again, we apologize for any inconvenience.
Yeah, check out the updates. You'll get the latest. Yep. So that's right, my friends. National Night Out is a little over a month away.
Gosh, I can't believe it.
Can you
It's here
imagine?
again.
That means the deadline to request a visit by our police officers, firefighters, and or council members is upon us.
That's right. Don't delay. So as we all know, National Night Out is August 6th, and our amazing police and fire personnel, as well as city council members, get out in the community at block parties.
Oh, it's really fun.
In the evening between 6 and 9. Yeah. Super fun event. It's great to meet everybody in person.
Yeah. So please be patient, as police and fire's availability depends on, of course, emergency call volumes.
That's right. And events that include a street closure require a permit, and applications for both permits and first responder and council requests must be in by July 23rd. Don't delay.
July 23rd. So I'm really excited about this one. The Kirkland Teen Union Building, which we affectionately call
K-Tub,
is relaunching in September.
Yeah, that's super exciting.
And the teens are already getting involved, David.
That's right. So last month, we opened up a design contest to teens to help us rebrand K-Tub. Their submissions were really impressive. Gotta say, super talented in this pool.
But not surprised.
Yeah, not surprised.
Not surprised.
Really impressed.
Yeah, so now the voting begins, and there are a few ways to vote.
Yeah, you can visit our website, highlight your favorite, and click to vote, or visit KTUB on Facebook or Instagram and like the picture of your favorite design.
Now, we're going to talk about our flag initiative later in the show. So there's a lot of great kind of collaborative design energy.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Love that stuff.
Kirkland making Kirkland great.
Yeah. So the most recent meeting of the Kirkland City Council was on Tuesday, July 2nd. Here's what happened. On the business agenda, council reviewed various parts of the city council policy and procedures. It was interesting.
Yeah, very much so. And prior to the business agenda, the study session included consultant findings on the Juanita Public Pathway feasibility study, as well as an initial discussion on a process to engage the community to help make a new city flag. We've been chatting about this, and we will cover this in more depth later on.
Yes, and that was really great presentation by...
Oh, Jim, stop.
By our very own
David
Wolbrecht.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
So you folks might want to check that out.
And you can watch the council meeting on our YouTube channel.
Okay, so for full transparency, my friends.
Yes, Jim.
We're recording this July 4th podcast on the 3rd.
Ah, okay.
Because the 4th of July is, of course, upon us. And we couldn't be more excited.
That's right.
And we're going to be there.
We will be. And maybe if you're listening to this, we already were. Whoa, time travel. So, yeah, we've all marveled now at the 25th anniversary of this beloved Kirkland tradition, the parade. And wow, 25 years. well done, everybody. Celebrate Kirkland. Good job. So this past week also had some other big milestones for Kirkland.
That's right, David. Cascade Water Alliance turned 25 as well.
Wow.
Now, the Cascade Water Alliance is the consortium of regional cities that sources Kirkland's water, both now and into the future. Yeah, Councilmember Sweet, a longtime representative for Kirkland, gave a great speech at last week's event.
This past week also saw the 1-year anniversary of the Regional Crisis Response Agency, RACER. Yeah, very big deal. So this innovative and impactful partnership has already made such a positive change in our community with their crisis responders supporting 911 calls for those experiencing behavioral health crises. Congrats, RACER. Thank you so much for all you're doing in our community.
Yes, and as Deputy Mayor Arnold mentioned last night at the council meeting, we are meeting the moment. And
that is right.
Great work, RACER.
Indeed.
And finally, this past week also included the ribbon cutting for Amazon's new Project Kuiper facility in Kirkland. Now, they'll be manufacturing satellites, and they've created a really strategic partnership with LW Tech on workforce development. So this is just a win-win, multiple win.
So many wins. And with all these new jobs and in Kirkland's inclusion in the space economy, this is just such a great addition to Kirkland's economy.
Yes, really grateful, and thank you. It was a wonderful event.
Absolutely.
Okay, also this week, both Waverly and Houghton Beach parks are reopened, boom,
Woohoo!
for water activities.
That's right, just in time for a lovely July 4th holiday weekend. It's going to be a hot one, folks. So King County Public Health just reopened water activities based on the latest bacteria samples. And quick reminder, it might be hot out, but the water might still be cold. So just be mindful of your swimming ability if you're taking to the lake.
Yes, and have fun. And speaking of enjoying our amazing lakefront parks, here's some reminders to take care of yourself in the sun if you're heading to the beach.
Remember to stay hydrated, drink lots of water, and cut back on caffeine and alcohol when spending an abundant time in the sun.
Yes, and keep in mind that dark colors absorb heat.
That's right.
So try and avoid them by wearing light-colored clothing.
Hey.
That reflects heat.
And might be fashionable this season. And remember sun protection. Hats, sunscreen, long sleeves, all these can help ensure that your time out is fun and doesn't require aloe vera after the fact.
Yes, thank you, David. So while we might feel great outside, our pets might not.
Yeah, covered in fur usually.
So never, ever leave your pet in a parked car. Oof. Not even for a minute. On warm days, inside car temps can reach dangerous levels in minutes.
Minutes. Very quick. It's really scary. So asphalt also gets really hot and can burn paws. So walk your dog on grass if possible. Also in the early mornings or in the evening hours when it's cooler.
So now tips like this and more are available if you sign up for the new Kirkland Animal Services texting community. God, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Just text PETS, P-E-T-S, to 425-577-5656 to enroll. And, of course, we'll have that information in the show notes. License your pet and get all the best tips from our new animal control officer, Angela Arnold.
Yeah, who we had on the podcast a few weeks ago.
The Animal Services texting community.
Absolutely. I'm a proud member of the texting community. It's quite great.
Great stuff. So, David, I know it's only July.
That's true.
But believe me, I'm not skipping over summer.
Okay.
However, registration opens next week for the ever-popular fall Pee Wee soccer.
Oh.
Yeah.
I grew up playing Pee Wee soccer.
Yeah. And it's a lot of fun.
Oh, totally. And this year we'll feature 2 different site options. And the program is, of course, for ages 3 to 4 and 5 to 6. It's focused on fun, not just winning.
Yeah, games will take place on Saturdays and will be a 30-minute practice followed by a 30-minute friendly style game.
So registration begins on July 10th for Kirkland residents.
And that brings us to our 5 over 5. That's 5 questions in what is certain to be over 5 minutes with our special guest. Plot twist. I guess the special guests are us.
Oh, hey, all right.
And David, you're really the special guest here.
Oh,
because
Jim. Oh, stop.
Because you gave a great presentation last night. So great, in fact, that I thought we would just do it for the show's special guest segment.
Oh, great. I didn't prepare the PowerPoint, but here we go, Jim. Let's do it.
So maybe we just take this time to ask you a couple questions about yourself.
Sure.
You seem ready for that.
I practiced in front of the mirror last night.
So tell us, other than being a podcast host, what do you do for the city?
Well, I am the city's communication program manager, Jim. There's so much that happens every day that all our crews are doing out, filling potholes, keeping our community safe. Really what my role is to help share the work of the city with our community and to also help the community find themselves in that story as well.
Yes. And last night we there was a lot of really good data presented from our survey for the community. We do that every 2 years.
Yeah, that's right.
And there was a lot of really positive data coming back on the This Week in Kirkland communication system, which you sit over, correct?
That's correct.
So bravo on that.
Oh,
Including
thank
the
you,
podcast.
Thank you.
We take the This Week in Kirkland newsletter. Please, everybody, sign up for that newsletter if you haven't.
Yeah.
And the newsletter becomes the foundation for the script for this show.
Exactly. Yeah. It's all intricate ecosystem.
Yes. So before we get into the flags, how did you come to the city? What brought you originally?
Well, originally, some doctors at Evergreen Health Hospital. So I was actually born in Kirkland. I grew up in Redmond. My folks are still there. Shout out. Hey, Tim and Susan.
Podcast listeners.
Yeah, podcast listeners. Dedicated.
Yes, dedicated.
Thank you. So they're still residents of Education Hill.
Nice.
Yeah, and so grew up there. And then I came to work for the city about 7 years ago.
Yes.
And bopped up through kind of a couple different roles. And I've been here in my communications role now for about 2.5.
Yeah, so you came right into the city manager's office.
I did, yeah. It's been a fun, wild ride.
Yeah. Well, we're so deeply grateful to have you.
Well,
hey, we had the foresight to make the call 7 years ago, so kudos on us.
Well done.
Yeah.
Thanks all around.
Thanks all around. I appreciate a lot of gratitude.
Yeah.
So tell us a favorite thing about the city of Kirkland.
Oh gosh, there's so many. Everyone talks about, the parks and the open spaces, the nature and all that stuff. And I guess I would just like to, the non-human residents of Kirkland are also really near and dear to my heart. So where we live, we see a lot of bobcat and raccoons and coyote occasionally. Of course, squirrels, a variety of bird life. And so we're just really grateful for, Kirkland is an urban environment, but we still have a lot of connection with nature.
Yeah. And you have a very special interest in that, right? Because you're a certified tracker.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So before coming to the city, I was doing a little bit of work out with a Nature Connection nonprofit, a nonprofit school out in Duval. And as part of my education there, I did study and tested for wildlife tracking certification.
Wow, so cool.
Yeah, so I have a level 3 certification.
Wow. Do you ever get out there to put it in practice, the knowledge?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's one of those things that once you get in the mindset, you're kind of doing it all the time. And so if we're walking out and there's a little patch of mud,
you're
Jim, I'm like, who's been walking there? Right. And I'm like, oh, there's a robin, so
that's so cool.
Yeah,
it's
well,
so
yeah.
Cool.
I mean, that's a word for it. Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
It's one perspective.
Yeah, I mean, and how I like to view it is it helps me understand the story of what's happening on the landscape.
Yeah.
Because there's so much we don't see, but there's these little traces of evidence of how other folks are living their lives.
And there's a story there.
There is, exactly.
So when you go on vacation and you say things like, I probably am not accessible via any internet connection or phone service.
Yeah.
I'm thinking you're tracking.
That's a good bet, Jim.
I'm thinking you're up there deep into the wilderness.
Yeah.
Following a bear or something.
Well, this last time.
Or do you avoid the bears?
Well, you generally will want to avoid bears. Just let them know you're there, and they will generally keep some distance. But most recently, a few weeks ago, actually, we were up in the Teanaway Community Forest, and we did actually see a mountain lion.
Really?
Yeah.
What did you do?
Did
you hang around a little bit, or
kind of. So it was about 100 yards off, and it kind of bounded down onto the road that we were on, and then it immediately sort of kind of took off. We were going the same direction as it, and what was really fascinating was when we got to the point where the mountain lion joined the road, our dog Haku immediately was just really zoned in on sniffing where it was, where it walked along the road, and so we got to guess where it went and where it left the road.
How did she handle the situation?
She was okay.
Chill?
I think she doesn't really know what that smell means.
Yeah.
I think she was more like, whoa, that's something new. And if she had encountered it, I think she would have probably been a little bit more anxious.
Wow, what a great story.
Well,
yeah.
So yes, Jim.
So I am kind of accurate.
You are accurate. It's a priority of ours to get out for sure.
Okay, so let's talk about this new city flag process. It's going to be really great, and it's going to be very, very collaborative. So what are we looking at?
So this is going to be such a fun, exciting process, Jim. Such a really great community building opportunity. And we are talking about creating a brand new official city flag for Kirkland.
Because right now we have what's called a
logo on a bed sheet.
A logo on a bed sheet
by the North American Vexillological Association.
Could you say that again, please?
North American Vexillological Association.
Because you did so well last night.
Yeah, well, thank you. Again, practice.
Anthony, that's worth noting, don't you think? Yeah.
4 for 4.
4 for 4. 4 for 4. So
I'm on a streak.
You're on a streak. You're on a roll.
Yeah.
So the logo on a bed sheet happened because we were participating in an event, right? And
we needed a flag. And so it's like, well, let's make a flag. Awesome. And that's essentially been the de facto flag for the city, but it's kind of boring. It's not actually good practice.
And it's probably a common story. Like, hey, we need a flag. Let's get our logo and put it on a,
piece
a
of
white
fabric.
canvas.
Yeah, exactly.
And, we're ready to roll. But that's not, we're moving forward.
We are.
With a full-on, really well thought through, collaborative, participatory process to create our amazing flag.
That's right.
Yes, so this process is still being considered by the city council. So just to be clear, the council has not taken action to set forth this process.
So we're going to kick this off at City Hall for All?
Yeah, that's the plan. So mid-September, City Hall for All, and you'll hear much more about that on future podcasts, but we're going to have an event here at City Hall. You can come learn about the process, learn about what it means to make a flag, good, design principles. Exactly. And then, just kind of get psyched up. And then throughout the fall, we'll have a crowdsource online platform. People can be submitting.
So tell us what crowdsourcing is.
So crowdsourcing, what we're really doing is we're putting out to the community the opportunity to submit designs and ideas.
Yeah.
And, this will be something that we're asking people to do for free, although there will be some manner of reward and recognition for the finalists. And so this is, we're leveraging the genius of the crowd here.
Yeah, so the crowd, folks come right in and start, it's kind of a collective endeavor into what the best design is.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because this idea had a lot of energy from a specific community member.
Yeah. So big shout out to Kurt.
Kurt Dressel.
Yeah, and he really brought this to the council's awareness, to staff's awareness. Councilmember Sweet was the one that kind of kicked it off officially with the city council back in February.
Yeah.
And that is now, of course, leading us here today.
Yeah, so thank you, Kurt and Penny Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of great energy for this.
Absolutely. We're also going to be convening a community advisory group, a Kirkland Flag Learners Advisory Group, or K-Flag. K-Flag. And this is kind of what we talked through. The council, K-Flag will be given a lot of education, a lot of, background information on principles of good design, kind of what it means to have a good flag and all that. So there'll be a lot of learning for the group.
That's good. That'll be fun.
Yeah, and so don't, and it'll be something that anyone in the community can apply to join and be a part of. And so don't feel like, you have to be some sort of flag specialist. No. You don't have to be a member of the North American Vexillological Association.
Five for five. I would just say bring a lot of creative energy.
Exactly. And a deep, connection and kind of profound love for Kirkland.
Yeah, that's all we ask.
Yeah, exactly.
So we get that group together.
Yeah, so they'll help guide, going from our crowdsourced, I don't know, hundreds of submissions down to, kind of some finalist few. Then it's a iteration with the council, and that ultimately leads to the council adopting the new official City of Kirkland flag.
Now, it is my intention to submit one.
Okay.
Am I
well, we have not fully disqualified.
Disqualified?
I don't believe so.
They have those promos like, if you work for the company.
Yeah, you can't do
Don't do that.
Yeah, so at this point, although we've not fully contemplated the rules of entry, we don't think we're going to be disqualifying city staff.
Because mine will be good.
I'm sure it will be, Jim. I have no doubt. So, Jim, we will just advise, generally, it's not good practice to include the Boston Bruins logo on a city flag.
It wouldn't be helpful.
Yeah.
Thank you for that guidance.
Okay, yeah, heads up.
So let's talk a little bit about the 5 principles of flag design, which are kind of fun. Maybe we can kind of go through them. The first one is keep it simple.
That's right. Yeah. Good principle for most
things in life. It's like, could be the 5 principles of life.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
Yeah,
keep it simple.
Yeah, so don't get overly intricate, don't try to be too clever, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I have a movie I love, the Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. It's an interesting film. You see that film, Anthony?
Bill Murray.
Yeah. So in the film, I think they at one point they're creating, it might be a flag, it might be a patch. And they keep putting symbols on the thing,
Yes.
and which I thought was hysterical.
Yes,
But
yeah.
maybe
Not the best practice
Keep
to
it simple.
have everything on there.
Keep it simple. Okay. And you do, once you see the principle, keep it simple, you can't not see it.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like every time I look at a flag now,
You're like, is it simple?
is it simple?
It's
And
like,
a
ooh,
lot
that's
of them,
I don't know.
No,
Yeah.
I don't.
They're getting into complex.
yeah. Okay, so the second one is use meaningful symbolism.
That's right. Yeah. So probably you might not want to include like a ski lift
Yeah.
for Kirkland,
Yeah,
you know.
'cause we don't really have a ski
Yeah.
resort here.
Yeah, exactly.
But what we do have is a gorgeous lake,
We have some mountain views.
mountain views,
We've got a bunch of trees.
bunch of trees. So my original idea was to drive down 85th. You see the gorgeous vista, the lake and the mountains, but the
Hey.
sun sets.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you wanted to have the sun,
Sun rising, yeah.
it would not be
Yeah,
accurate.
there might be a view up on Finn Hill, you know?
Maybe a view
And
of-
so,
yeah.
you know, and so this is where folks, you know, can really apply their localized knowledge to make that really meaningful symbolism.
Yeah, and we have the pavilion, other things. I'm very, very interested in the submissions to see how people select the meaningful symbolism if they follow the
Yeah, it's recommended.
design guide.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so number 3 is use 2 to 3 basic colors. Yeah,
So again, kind of keep it simple. It kind of aligns with that one too.
yeah. And number 4 is no lettering or seals.
Yeah, so it's a design best practice for flags to actually not have there be a any words, any
Yeah, because if
text.
you see it from the back,
Yeah, it's like it's
That's what-
backwards.
yeah, I
or
mean,
I
you
don't-
have
you
to-
know, Yeah.
right? You just
Yeah.
want to keep it simple. Rule number 1,
Yep.
and no lettering or seals.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe there's some exceptions in there. You could look for examples like a
Yeah.
iconic letter or something.
Or if you live along the coast, maybe a seal is a meaningful wildlife
That's
symbol.
right. Or a
Sorry,
a
see what I
natural
did there?
seal.
Oh, all
there you
right.
go. Well, we want to be, we want to be accurate.
Yeah, that's right.
So number 5 is be distinctive or be related, kind of like our podcast.
In that case, it's both distinctive and,
And
related.
So
Yeah, so this is try to be unique, right? Kirkland, although we're similar to many other communities across the country, we are also unique in what makes Kirkland Kirkland and kind of what are our signature qualities. So
yeah. Okay, so those are the 5 design principles.
that they are, yes.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, yeah. And so we'll be giving more information for everybody who wants to submit a design, kind of give us some more background information to help guide those submissions, but that kind of maybe gets people's creative juices flowing.
And we'll, of course, be at City Hall for All. So if you have an
Absolutely.
interest in this process, come see us and we'll chat it up.
Definitely.
And, we'll get you in the workshop.
Yeah.
We do want to have it finished by
Yeah.
next year because there's a couple of events, right?
Yeah, and so this whole process will be wrapping up April, May. So there's a couple events. Actually, the same event. It's the Association of Washington Cities Parade of Cities.
Yes,
Happens
that's it.
in June, and that was actually the original impetus for the logo on a bed sheet version of Kirkland's flag years ago. And so
Yes.
we will now proudly wave and proceed with our brand new one come next year.
Our crowdsourced
Kirkland
design masterpiece.
Exactly. Again, pending council approval of the resolution that really lays out this process, which we anticipate at the next meeting in July and perhaps in August. Then we will have more details on what all of this will look like in the coming months.
So last question, David.
Oh, Anthony, yes.
It might come as a surprise to you. I don't know if you're prepared, but what are you reading, watching, entertaining yourself with these days?
Well, yeah, thanks. A variety of things. I think I'm listening to some podcasts that are live plays of some of the tabletop role-playing games I really enjoy.
Oh, nice.
Also reading a book in the Rivers of London series. And so it's a contemporary kind of police procedural detective series, but it's all like about magic and like magical entities and that sort of stuff.
What year? Where are we in history?
We're present day.
Present day.
Yeah. Yeah. So
that
it's fun.
sounds
It's kind
fun.
of this like blend of like, water, spirits or like ghosts and kind of all that stuff with like
Actual
actual
historical
like
facts.
and like, you know, it's the Metropolitan Police, like, and it's like a lot of like technical information about them.
I suspect that will be a Netflix show soon.
I wouldn't think so. Yeah.
Because there's the magic realism. There's a good deal of that now.
Exactly.
Really cool.
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun.
Oh, it's fun. So you have to give me that in our own office show notes, so I can check that out too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, David, will you stick around for our pop quiz multiple choice trivia that you probably wrote?
I actually need to go, Jim. So
you have to
no,
go.
I'm just joking. Of course I'll stay.
Okay. Okay. So one of these answers gallantly streams o'er the ramparts,
Oh, okay.
while the others should probably just be destroyed in a dignified way, which means we just made them up.
Okay. I'm sensing a flag theme.
Yes. Okay, so option A, the designer of the American flag was paid in bacon for his labor.
It's not a bad deal.
Option A.
That's how the city
it's
pays
kinda
me.
I think Anthony has a bacon provision in his compensation. clause.
Okay.
Option B, the name Old Glory comes from a flag that traveled around the world.
Wow.
Old Glory.
Okay. Yeah.
That's an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
Or option C, the 19-star flag only lasted from July 4th, 1816 to July 4th, 1817.
Ooh, okay. It was a single year with
Single
the
year.
19-star flag. Okay.
Was 19 only a single year?
Intriguing.
These are tough ones.
They're tough ones.
I usually feel like we can throw C away,
I
but
know.
not
C is
today.
not-
yes, the plot
C,
twist.
I mean,
yeah,
thrown
plot
for a loop.
twist. C is
Yeah.
in the game this week.
I mean, the bacon one is intriguing.
I want it to be true.
Yeah.
I really feel close to the bacon one.
I mean, I feel like with, salted meats, I feel like that it could be.
You know, they were in a war, I'm sure, so provisions were low.
Well,
Yeah, right? And,
I'm
probably.
talking myself out of it.
Well, you're talking me into it. So I'm going to go with A, locked in.
well, the
B.
answer. What was that?
I'm going to say B, Old
B.
Glory.
Well, the answer, as Anthony has noted, is B.
Was Oh, whew.
The intrepid sea captain William Driver flew the 17 by 10 flag from his ship's mast as he sailed to China, India, North Africa, Europe, and throughout the South Pacific.
Wow. That's a big flag.
That's a big trip.
And a big trip, for sure.
Interestingly, there were no official U.S. flags with 19 stars.
Oh, okay.
The official design of the flag jumped from 15 stars in 1794 to 20 stars in 1818 with the passing of the, you guessed it, 1818 Flag Act.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Very literal.
Mm-hmm.
Accordingly, each new state now receives its star on the subsequent 4th of July after statehood.
Ah, interesting. Well, did you know Francis Hopkinson,
One for one.
a Declaration of Independence signatory, is considered to be the most likely designer of the American flag? He issued a bill to the Board of Admiralty in 1780 demanding, quote, a quarter cask of the public wine, unquote.
Wine,
as
not bacon.
payment.
Wine.
Yeah, wine, not payment.
Okay. I need to update my contract.
Yeah. of note, he was not paid.
He was
Oh,
not
so-
paid.
Yeah,
Oh.
so good luck. And that's all. Thank you, dear listeners. Please have a safe and wonderful Independence Day weekend.
Yes, thank you, everybody. And that does it for this week. You've been listening to This Week in Kirkland. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Special thanks to Anthony Girardi, Chris Peterson, and Sue Romero, Kate Ryan, and Victor Durantes for their behind-the-scene magic.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Our next episode is July 11th. Until then,
Stay connected, Kirkland.